You can use a ruler to measure length. What units are shown on this ruler? Inches. What is the length of the paperclip? The length of the paperclip is about 1 inch. The book is about 1 foot. 1 foot is 12 inches long. What other objects are about a foot long?
Remember, when thinking about a foot, if you hold up your arm, the foot, it's 12 inches. So if you hold up your arm, it's from your elbow to your hand. That's about. Remember, an estimate is about, it's not an exact measurement. So that is about a foot. So if you think about it, this notebook, the height of it is about 1 foot. What else is about 1 foot? Right, a notebook, a regular book. I'm trying to think. A ruler, of course, is about 1 foot. Let's see what examples they give.
Some other objects that are about a foot long are a doll, a plate, or a school binder. You can use a yardstick to measure length too. The bat is about 1 yard. A yardstick is 3 feet or 36 inches long. What objects are about a yard long? Some objects that are about a yard long are a poster, a small table, or a medium dog.
So remember, a yard is like my yard stick. That was the long ruler. Remember, we were measuring the back table with that ruler. We were measuring the height of the door with that ruler. 1 yard equals 3 rulers. So 1 yard equals 3 feet. So remember, things that are bigger, like a real bat, not this picture of the bat, is a yard long. Let's see. We're going to try it. Choose a reasonable estimate of each object's length and place the estimate next to the object. So we have a dinner plate, a postage stamp, that's what goes on the corner of a letter when you get a letter or you send a letter, and a medium-sized dog. So we have 1 inch, 1 foot, and 1 yard. We have to think which one is the smallest and which one would be the biggest. So do we think a plate, a little stamp, or a medium-sized dog would be the smallest? The stamp would be the smallest. So which one is the smallest? 1 inch, 1 foot, or 1 yard? 1 inch, remember that's like when you bend your finger, your little knuckle there. 1 inch is the smallest. So I would go and say that the postage stamp is about 1 inch. Estimating. Remember, estimating is guessing. I'm not taking out my ruler and I'm not measuring it. If I'm estimating, I am guessing. All right, so now let's think about which one's bigger. Do I think a plate, like that you would eat your dinner on, or do I think a dog is bigger? I definitely, unless it's one of those tiny little dogs, it says a medium dog. Unless it's one of those tiny little dogs, a medium-sized dog would definitely be bigger than a plate. So which one's bigger, 1 foot or 1 yard? 1 yard, because that's 1 yard actually equals 3 feet. So I'm going to say 1 yard for a medium-sized dog. And then a dinner plate, what's left over is 1 foot. If you think about your dinner plate, if you had a ruler and you laid it across it, it would be about 1 foot or 12 inches.
You can use a measuring tape to measure inches, feet, or yards. What unit is shown on this tape measure? Inches. Are these inches the same size as inches on the ruler? Why?
So when you look at a measuring tape, this is a measuring tape is almost basically the same thing as a yardstick, but you can move it. It's cloth. That way, if you have something that's round or something that curves and isn't completely straight or flat, you can use the measuring tape. They call it tape because it looks like a roll of tape. You can use the measuring tape to measure. So they're saying, are these inches that are on this measuring tape, are those inches the same as one on a ruler? Yes, they're going to be the same. 1 inch is 1 inch is 1 inch is 1 inch. Um, as long as it's saying that it's 1 inch that's on your ruler and on your measuring tape, it's going to be the same thing.
Yes, an inch is a standard unit of length. It is always the same length, no matter which tool is used to measure. So, should an object measure the same number of inches if measured with a ruler or a measuring tape?
So if I measure something with a ruler and then I measure the exact same thing with a measuring tape, would I get the same measurement? If I take a pencil and I measure it with my ruler, and my ruler says it's 6 inches, and then I take my measuring tape and I measure that pencil, yes, I should get the exact same measurement because I'm using inches on both. If I decide that I'm going to flip the ruler and use the centimeter side, and then on my measuring tape I'm going to use the inches, then no, my answer is not going to be the same.
Yes, it should be the same. Now you know how to use inches, feet, and yards to measure length.
Let's estimate and measure.
I'm also going to show you another video. Remember, estimating means that I am taking an educated guess. I am thinking, I'm using my finger, I'm using things like my arm, things that I know are about a specific length, and I'm using that to estimate. I'm not taking out a ruler and measuring anything unless it says measure. Most of the topics that we went through, 12.1, 12.2, and 12.3, were where we were estimating. We had to estimate, and then we would take out our ruler or our yardstick and see how close we were to our measurement. So remember, there are things that you have to think about that you know are about an inch and you know are about a foot. You have to use those things to make sure that you are completing and getting the right estimates. You don't want to just guess and say 12 when you know it's probably only about 2 inches. Here's another video.
Hi, let's do some measuring. To measure the lengths of things, you can use a ruler, like this one right here. And here's a paper clip. Place it against the ruler, and we see it's about 1 inch long. This hammer right here, put it against the ruler, and it's about 12 inches, which is the same as 1 foot. And this window, it's going to be pretty big. So let's measure it using a yardstick. It's good for measuring things longer than a foot. It looks like it's about 36 inches, which is the same as 3 feet long. And 3 feet is the same as 1 yard. So using rulers and yardsticks, you can easily measure in inches, feet, and yards.
So make sure when you guys are doing your assignments that if it says do not use a ruler, that you are estimating, you're thinking about what the size of it is. And make sure that you're also thinking, is it asking me to estimate the actual picture, or is it asking me to measure what a water bottle is in real life? So make sure that you watch the videos and that you look carefully at the way the questions are worded.